Hello, y'all out there on YouTube. This is Rob from Rob's Nerdy Knives. Hey, I just want to talk a little bit about some knives that I really enjoy and knives that I will probably keep for a long time, if not forever. Below, I have like the very first knife that I ever got. This is my Gerber, I believe it's called E-Z-Out. This was made in the USA with 425 steel. As you can see, it's like a looks like a satin finish, and this is a lockback with probably FRN, or I'm not sure this is G10, but it's probably plastic FRN scales. But this is made in the USA. I don't think they make these anymore in the USA, so this is probably one of those knives that you just can't find anymore. But it was the very first pocket knife I bought and carried and had, and so I kept it, never got rid of it. So it has a little meaning that. Then there's this knife. This was my father's knife. He bought this before World War II in the early 30s in Norway. He was in the Danish Boy Scouts or something like that. I forget what it was. He told me, but I've forgotten. This is in a leather sheath. It's a dual blade. It's got a big blade and a little blade. And the big blade right here is actually made by, let's see if we can see this right here. It's Braceleto Gailo. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. Sounds Italian of some sort. But he bought this in Norway, and hand etched here, burnt, whatever. The blade had been sharpened by somebody. They totally messed it up. So I've been kind of sharpening it, got rid of a lot of pitting and rust that was terribly on here, and really kind of trying to bring the shape back to what it was before. Almost getting there, but anyways, so this was my dad's knife, and so it has a little meaning. And with this one, there's also the small blade right here. It's a little one, as you can see. This one's also hand burned or etched or whatever you want to call it. It's got some wear and some chips off of it. Little brass edge right there to hold on to the blade inside the wooden handle, and then that to grip onto the sheath. Anyways, and here's the sheath. I had to do a lot of leather conditioning. It was so dry that literally when I first got it, it cracked. As you can see, this actually cracked right here. This was me at a young age sewing this back together. I wish I had never done that, but I did. So I tried to leave it alone now, but still condition this regularly. The leather's starting to actually be able to bend again without cracking. But again, you see some of the same etching again that they did. But this is a pretty old knife. It's almost 100 years old. So to me, it's kind of special. You know, it was one of the few things from my dad and something that I enjoy. And so I'm going to keep this. Now, my boys have already been begging to inherit this when they get older. So I don't know how that's going to work. And I don't want it to be broken up because it's a knife set here. So anyways, so those are the, queen save, obviously. Queen save, and probably something I'll never carry again, but I'm going to save it anyways. And then I have a couple of knives here, like my Vero Engineering Axon. Love this knife. This is just a gorgeous knife. I love that Warncliffe. Just beautiful blade, flat grind, sharp as can be. I did put a new edge on there because when I got it, it's a very deep angle. It wasn't a very thin angled kind of blade, so didn't really have a sharp edge and a lot of grippiness, but now it does. So that was fun. Beautiful blade. I did put some skiff bearings on this one. That made a huge difference. So I really enjoy this knife a lot. Front flip it and all sorts of good stuff. Great little knife. So I really like that one. And of course, there's my Demko AD20. Beautiful knife with the titanium milled scales. And it's with the CPM 3V steel. This is made in Taiwan, not in China. Big difference if you didn't know, but much better quality. Love this blade, love the shark lock. Just a lot of fun. Can flick it all day long. And that shark lock is just nice. You can even flick it out with the shark lock. So, but this jimping on here, this makes it just so perfect. You can really get a good grip and really do a lot of things. It's like a hard use knife, so I really enjoy this knife a lot. Really great knife. Again, this is one of those that I definitely would recommend. I'm gonna probably keep that one, I don't know, probably forever. Next one's my Shaman. I've been wanting a Shaman forever, and I finally found one. Got this one through Blade Ops. This is the Elmex Shaman, USA made, of course, by Spyderco. I put the red fat carbon scales on this puppy. And then ODC for EDC. He did this CME. It's compression made easy. I really like this. Put it right on your compression lock. Really easy. Nice thing about it is when you flick it left-handed, you can still close it left-handed. So, you know, if you're doing this over here, it gives you a little extra control without having to feel like you're about to drop it. So, but I love the Shaman. I love the contoured scales and everything. It's just such a hardy, stout knife, but this is such a great knife. I really enjoy this knife. Then, of course, here's my one Dama steel knife that I have right now in my collection. Would love more, but these are hard to get and expensive. I know some people have a ton of them, but this is my Enrique Peña Mula. It's got the red fat carbon inlay. Again, red fat carbon, I do like that a lot. This is made by Riot, so you can see there's no pitting like here there is in this one. I don't know if you can see that. You might be able to see that. But I don't mind that on the Shaman. And I don't mind that. This is an RGT. I think it's RIPS Garage technology. I really do like that because, again, it gives a little traction, gives a little texture. I don't mind that at all. And this right here is just elegant. I love that. You know, there's the brass spacer back here. Hidden lanyard, of course. And then you have the pivot hole with the little ring there as well. But the Dama steel, man, it's just nice. Just nice. I love that. And this is just so sweet. Oops. As long as you don't get in the way of it. Easy to flick. Beautiful front flipper as well. I do enjoy that about this one here. So I do have, as you can tell, at least 3 front flippers here. Can do a front flipping on that one, on the Shaman, and that. And if you haven't ever front flipped on your Shaman, it's actually possible. Now it's a little tight quarters here, so let me see if I can get this. There we go. So that's kind of cool. If you haven't done that, you can. And then here's my beauty. This one right here. This is a Liong Ma. This is the GSD2. Get stuff done. It really means get, you know, shit done. I don't like saying that one because I got kids and, you know, but it is. It's just a beautiful knife. I love this blade hand satin finish. Just, man, just look at that. It's just so sweet. And the action on this puppy is just so nice. Almost drop shutty. Times it will be. There we go. And you can use that fuller right there. Get your finger there. Just flip it right up. Just really like that a lot. And I love this blade grind. So thin around the edge and so sharp. So gorgeous little knife. I love the fact that I can either front flip it, and it is push button or light switch. So you can light switch it or you can push button it. So it's really nice. And of course, the fuller. And of course, you can also do the left-handed. And it is possible. Left hand flick the fuller as well. So I really do like that. And you know, something that I found interesting, I'm going to be doing a review on this, but I have never had the ball bearing kind of, you know, clip. And I'd heard so many negative things about it, and I was very hesitant to get it, and I thought it's just not going to work. But I am so amazed. This goes on and off my pant pocket so easily. It really is very nice. And I don't know if it's because the tension is just nice and easy on there, and that works. If it was like a thicker titanium kind of maybe a thicker titanium type of clip, maybe it'd be a lot harder, but this is just excellent. Excellent done. And again, this is space coral fat carbon, so I don't know if you can actually see that. Let's see if we can get into a little bit of the light there. But it just looks like coral, and just the design, it's really fantastic. I really love that. So again, M390 steel, which is really nice. But man, this is such a fun little knife. But these right now are probably the 5 that I would keep. You know, I have had a brick hinder. I liked it a lot. It just wasn't, for me, it didn't get me excited as I know many other people would. And that's perfectly fine, because, you know, people love knives that they love and don't love knives that they don't love. And that's okay. We don't have to like each other's knives. We can appreciate everything. I do appreciate the rig hinders. They're fantastically made. And, you know, maybe it's because I never had the, the 18, you know, the bigger hinders. I had a Jurassic, which is a smaller one. So I may have a limited scope and limited experience with the hinder. And maybe because of that, My Jurassic had a very late detent. You know, when you're dropping here, the detent that you run over here when it first passes the detent, you know, sometimes people have a 9 or 18 degree right here, but it just felt like it was really far down here, way past 18. So sometimes I felt like I couldn't get past to ever have it drop shut. And on such a beautiful knife, that was very disappointing for me. So I've had a Chris Reeve Umnuzon. That Umnuzon, fantastic knife. Loved it, beautiful, gorgeous. But again, it was washer. Had washers like the phosphor bronze washers and not cage ceramic bearings, but I never found the action to be what I cared for it to be. I don't open all my knives with a roll. I'd like to be able to do it, right? So like I just rolled that knife open, right? That's okay to be able to roll a knife open. But I like to flick my knives. I like to be able to use them quickly and then quickly put them away. And if I feel like that's going to be a challenge to do, then I don't know. It's not for me. And for the price that I paid, I'd never really carried the Hinder, and I never really carried my Umnuzon. And so, you know, that may be a preference. And maybe it's because I'm still kind of new to collecting and I'm a young collector. You know, I'm not, and I say young, I'm not really young, but I'm a young collector, right? Because I really got into this late in the game, watching a lot of other wonderful YouTube folks out there. I really have enjoyed people like Metal Complex, Neves Knives, Stasa 23, Knife Nerdery. See here, what is it? Pirate EDC. I'm not saying that correctly. I think I'm saying that wrong, but I just really enjoy his channel. I think it's Snuggle Bunny or Epic Bunny or something. I don't know. I'm terrible with these names. I'm an IT guy and I know numbers, and that's why I'm kind of a nerd. I'll remember an employee's number before I'll ever remember their name. That's terrible, but that's just the truth because I would do numbers all day long. So anyways, that being said, those guys all got me into knives, but you know, we all have different likes and different tastes and different preferences, and that's, I think, really okay, because that's what it's all about. You know, you can like something very much and others don't have to necessarily like that very thing that you like, right? I mean, we all can have different tastes and likes in what we care for and enjoy. So, you know, if that's the case, that's all right. That's what collecting knives and using knives is all about. So I don't personally collect knives that I never use. Every knife that I have, I want to be able to use. And so if the knife is that expensive that I would not carry it and use it, probably don't want to own it. That's just where I stand right now. Maybe that'll change down the road. Maybe when, you know, kids are out of the house and I'm close to retirement and I, you know, start wanting to have other knives just for collection, maybe that'll change. I don't know. But right now, every one of these knives I'll use and feel comfortable using, because these are all under $500, right? Some of them are under $400. So that's to me is a reasonable price to get a high quality knife that you can use and enjoy. So that's what that's my cup of tea. But these guys right here, I love these knives. And I've had some of these when I had my Hinder, I had my Umnuzon. I even had a Sharp by Design that I really enjoyed. The Mini Tempest, that was a great knife. I think if I had had, not the Bowie, but the other one, I think it was a Drop Point, maybe I'd kept that and I enjoyed it more. But the Bowie I had a little trouble with. It cut my finger quite a bit because of the tip and the weird shape, and I could reverse flick it just fine. I loved his detent and how he did that without the ceramic ball. Fantastically engineered, just brilliant, brilliant. And man, I really wanted to get that void that they came out with. I don't know. It's not quite pulling me in. I hear a lot of people who said that, and then when they get their hands on it, completely change their mind. And it'll probably do the same if I get my hands on one of those. But you know, those are all really knives that I have an interest in. You know, for instance, like there's a new one out by EMP EDC, Every Man's Pocket EDC. He's got the, I think it's called a Relative, that's coming out, pre-order in October. Very interested in that. Very, very interested in that. There are other knives that I'm very interested in. I know ProTech is coming out with their new Mordax. Well, it's the old Mordax, but coming out in Magna Cut. Boy, that sounds really appealing to me, and I can't wait for that one. So those are some of those types of knives that I really enjoy. I have a ProTech TR3 in MagnaCut that my wife got for me for our anniversary. Love that knife. Love that knife. And I do carry it. But it's one of those, it's an anniversary knife. I'm never going to get rid of it. And that's the funny thing. This right here, this is an anniversary knife. Wait, is this the one? No, this is not the one. Sorry. My anniversary knife is my Paramilitary 2. Yeah, that's the Paramilitary 2. I have one I put fat carbon scales on there in Arctic Storm. Love, 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 love that knife. But I'm never going to get rid of that one either, and it probably should have been out here. Didn't even think about that, because that's an anniversary gift, and I don't get rid of anniversary gifts. Those are going to be keepers, Something major, drastic would have to happen for that not to be in my collection ever, right? Unless I gave it to a son or some sort of kind of a fun gift or something like that. Otherwise, it's probably one that, will stay in my collection for a long time. But these are my 5 that I've really been carrying a lot, really enjoy a lot, and will keep in my collection. These are ones that I'll never get rid of, just because very first knife I ever bought, and my dad's knife. One of the few things I've got from him. Collection, to me, I don't think this is a really fantastically built knife. I think when I looked this up, there were a lot of knives like this. It's kind of a, kind of a cheap knife. If I did my research correctly, and if you guys do know anything more about this and know that this is maybe not a cheap knife, I would love to hear about that. I really would. But to me, it has meaning, and because it has meaning, it's going to stay. And some of these here have meaning. Really, really like this Shaman. It has meaning to me because of just how functional it is and how great it feels in my hand. I really love the Demko AD20.5. Just to feel the functionality of the steel. And that 3V, man, I'll tell you what, you can strap that puppy up and that blade is just money, just cash money. Now I'm sounding like Tri-State EDC. That's another guy I've really enjoyed watching. Love his personality. He is just pure entertainment, someone fun to watch, and I think he's going to continue to keep doing well if he can, as what he does. And his wife, I hear, she does great stickers for very many people. So, a lot of people recommend her. If you need stickers made, check her out. But anyhow, and this Vero, love this Vero. I had a chance at another one, but I don't know. The only other Vero I think that I might be interested, there's a Tonto version. That I might be of interest, but it would have to be significantly different. Again, I'm not one of these guys that collects 2 or 3 of the exact same knife. If I have a knife and I have a version of it, for me, that's enough. I would never have 3 or 4 Shamans, at least where I am right now in my collection, right? That may all change. I know people who may have felt that way and now they have 2 or 3 Shamans. But for me, I want to be able to use these knives. These are not just showpieces, right? These are to be used. That's why you'll see scuff marks and dings on my knives. You'll see them being used, and you'll see wear marks, even like right here where the clip is, wear marks. You'll see it on the blade. Nice thing about this type of finish, it really covers up a lot. You can see a little dirt and different things that I've had on there. But you're going to see on this puppy, when I get more and more use out of it, there's definitely going to be wear on this. You can already see some of the blade up here has got a little dirt on there, but, I use my knives, even my Damasteel. And if you don't know about Damasteel, this is probably equivalent to 154 cm as far as quality and hardness and sharpening and stuff. So, there's Damascus steel out there that's pretty cheap and maybe not that great quality. And then there's like Chad Nicholas Damascus steel. Oh, that's the expensive stuff. That's the stuff you'll see on William Henry knives, some of those really expensive ProTechs, when they're in the thousands and thousands. I know Liong Ma, he has a lot of his knives that have Damasteel on there. Beautiful knife. And I would probably very much consider one of that. Liong Ma and a Damasteel, that would be very entertaining for me. ProTech, Spyderco, maybe not. On a 80 Andrew Demko, probably not. He has one with the Damascus handles. Oh, gorgeous. Out of my price range, but gorgeous. And it's one of those that, would I buy a knife for $1,050? Would I use it regularly? I don't know. Probably not. Probably consider Damasteel one of these guys. But there's a lot of other knives that I really enjoy out there. And I don't know. been here for a little bit, and I know I'm talking a while, but what are your thoughts? You know, are there certain knives that you're never going to get rid of? Are there queen saves that you have for sentimental reasons or other reasons? You know, how's your collection? What makes it up, and what's your thoughts toward it? I'd love to hear that, because, you know, my attitude and knowledge about knives and collecting is constantly growing, and I'm learning. Again, thanks for listening. If you guys made it this far, I really appreciate it. Check me out also on Instagram, robs_nerdy_knives. I have an Instagram page as well, and my YouTube channel. If you get a chance to subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. It certainly allows me to know that, you know, there's some value and interest in what I share. It just, you know, it's a way for me to kind of know that maybe I should keep sharing. And if you have ideas, I'd love to hear them. You guys have a great, great day. Thanks.